We're really here today to talk about our next two movies. But we thought this would be cool to see. You want to know? Here, I'll tell you something. There have been rumors, and I'll tell you those rumors are true, that Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, is in this movie, and he plays a big part in it. And in this film, Nick Fury has two eyes.
What?
Because this film takes place before the events of Iron Man 1 and is set in the early 1990s. And I'll tell you one other thing for this crowd. It might be crickets in other places, but I think in this crowd, the villains of this will be the first MCU appearance of the Skrulls. There they are. We have amazing directors, Anna Bode and Ryan Fleck, working on it hard, and we can't wait to show you more. We saw him sitting in a chair in Avengers. We saw him sitting in a chair in Guardians. We saw him kind of putting on a glove, and it was time. And I've always said, the next time we show anything about Thanos, he's going to be standing up.
Hey everybody, so they just made some really big announcements about Captain Marvel, the Avengers movies, and Phase 4 villains, and what's going to be happening after Thanos. So I wanted to do a video for that. The Thor ticket giveaway is still going on. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. So you all heard Kevin Feige teasing what's going on with the Skrulls in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're going to be the big bad of the Captain Marvel movie first, and there's an important reason for why Captain Marvel's getting her movie between the big Avengers sequels. So you have Infinity War, Thanos, the Black Order assembling the gems into the gauntlet. Then as he said in that teaser, Captain Marvel will take place back in the 90s, so you'll literally get a big flashback movie that'll explain her origin story, how her powers work, what they changed about it. It's largely going to be based on the Kree-Skrull War, which I'll explain in a second. Then you jump back to present day, you have Avengers 4, and Kevin Feige teased that they'll explain why it is that Captain Marvel doesn't show up till that movie. She's been out there, and he looked off into outer space when he was saying that. So when he teases that Captain Marvel is going to take place before the events of Iron Man 1, because with a few exceptions, we haven't got a lot of history of the MCU predating Iron Man. I mean, we have the Captain America movie, we have Ant-Man's flashback. Captain Marvel will cover that period of history in outer space. It'll deal a little bit with S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 90s, so you just imagine that Ant-Man scene right here with Peggy Carter talking to the other people as Hank Pym is bailing on them. Nick Fury will have two eyes. Presumably, he will fight with her in outer space. They haven't fully explained how that's going to go because Nick Fury did not mention any of this at any point during any of his encounters with the other Avengers. You just know that he lost an eye and some serious shit went down. Before this, I think people assumed that he just lost it when he was in the Howling Commandos before he became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. But sort of the other reason for sandwiching Captain Marvel's flashback movie between those two Avengers movies is that it also sets up the Skrulls as a major galactic power, so they will continue to be a big problem in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not like she's going to eradicate every single Skrull before the events of Infinity War. So, they just announced that Ben Mendelsohn is going to be the main villain of the Captain Marvel movie. I think they're still signing contracts, so it's not absolutely confirmed yet. But most of you know him as director Krennic from Rogue One. He's been in a bunch of big movies lately. He's really blowing it up. But because I believe that Fox has the rights to the Super Skrull character, the actual main villain, so to speak, of Captain Marvel will probably wind up being the Skrull Emperor, whose name is Emperor Dorek. So it sounds like that's who he's going to be playing. James Gunn, sort of in another part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, still dealing with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 right now, is also helping develop Phase 4 space-based movies in the next 10 years of Marvel movies after Phase 3 is done. So a lot of the big stuff that'll be happening in Phase 4, like the big overarching villains, the stuff that the Avengers movies will build to, the spin-off movies they do will be based on new territory in outer space. So you have people like Adam Warlock coming in, changing what we know of the map of the galaxy a little bit. Like during Thor Ragnarok, we get to see Sakaar. It's on the edge of the universe, so it's just a place that we've never been before. The Skrulls are just another example of that. But the Kree-Skrull War, we got a taste for the Kree during Guardians of the Galaxy, but we didn't know too much about what was going on with the larger wars that they were involved with. So for all you hoping for Nova Corps, all that stuff, that's where they'll get to that, is during Phase 4, Phase 5, whatever comes next, because there are just so many space-based characters that are super weird that they haven't had time to get to yet. That's where that will show up. Remember Ronan the Accuser during Guardians of the Galaxy? He was a fanatic who wanted to avenge the atrocities visited upon his family in the Kree people during conflicts in the galaxy. A lot of that context will be provided by the Kree Skrull War, because I think they're going to use the Skrulls as the next version of Marvel space Nazis. And even though that term might remind you of Red Skull, yes, he's in outer space somewhere, the Tesseract just teleported him somewhere at the end of the first Captain America movie, I don't expect them to bring him back anytime soon. Hugo Weaving has said that he hasn't been contacted. But the funny thing about that is that Samuel L. Jackson, he flaps his lips a lot when people are talking to him. He really likes to talk, even though he has absolutely no idea what's going on. Is that his idea is that Nick Fury isn't around right now in these later movies, like he hasn't showed up yet, because he's busy looking for Red Skull. Which doesn't mean that he's getting ready to show up. They don't give them scripts for anything. Even Tom Holland doesn't get scripts for Infinity War. When he shows up for each day's filming, they'll give him the pages that he's doing that day, but they're not going to let him leave with a script. They don't trust him that much. Just because he's a little kid, he accidentally took one of his Spider-Man Homecoming scripts home one day to the place where he was living while they were filming in Atlanta, and instead of waiting to bring it back to set the next day, he actually burned it so that he wouldn't get in trouble with Marvel's security. That's how hardcore they are about this.
Marvel like to keep everything a secret, so to all the producers who are probably freaking out because I forgot to hand in my script, here is evidence that I am destroying it.
But again, talking about big Phase 4 villains, you get rid of Thanos, you need something even bigger, so we still have Dormammu. He'll continue to be a big problem as they push out into more multiverse territory in the movies. They haven't quite got to that yet, but I think they've recognized that a lot of their strengths are in more identifiable, human-looking villains. So you have people like the Skrulls that are humanoid. You have Ben Mendelsohn, who would be pretty easy to do motion capture for him to make him look like the Skrull Emperor. You have people like Cate Blanchett playing Hela, who is probably the best Marvel villain since Loki debuted. I know there are a lot of questions about her coming back during the Infinity War movies, but I can't talk too much about her without getting into spoilers. I will post my Thor Ragnarok spoilery videos next week. I'll start doing Easter eggs, post-credit videos. But again, you can see that Marvel is opting for more identifiable villains versus rings of trash and beams of light in the sky. But once you have a chance to see Ragnarok, let me know in the comments, how do you feel about the way they treated her as a villain and as a character versus somebody like Dormammu in Doctor Strange? Even though Dormammu is really cool, I just feel like Cate Blanchett, the actress, plus a comic book character equals a much more entertaining movie-going experience. But what's going to happen is they just announced some big stuff coming to The Flash. They're doing a Rick and Morty style episode with the Council of Rick, so I'll do a video for that this weekend. Stranger Things also dropped, so I'll post my non-spoilery review for that tonight. Then I'll post some Easter eggs this weekend. So leave all your requests for Marvel stuff in the comments below. Congratulations to Matt54, you're the latest giveaway winner. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. You can click here for my non-spoilery Thor Ragnarok review, and you can click here for the last big Justice League trailer and some early reviews for that. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.